I think it was kind of a tale of two halves, and we're going to need to look at the film to understand what was going on. I think, but clearly, we had an opportunity to be able to move the ball, get the ball in the red zone. First and goal on the 4, we commit a penalty. Now, we can't do that. And then we have an illegal procedure later on, and instead of getting a touchdown, we make it exciting to get a field goal from line of scrimmage, 27-yard line or whatever it was at the time. From a defensive perspective, with the mistakes that we had made a week ago, the focus this week on the defense was, rather than have more things and have more breakdowns, we got to have fewer things and get those right. We got to be able to get those right. So again, we got to be able to look at the film to understand what's going on. You got to give credit to Marty Fine, their coach, and their entire team and their staff. They had a good plan, a good game plan against us. They were well prepared. They gave us everything we could possibly handle. I think what they were trying to do against the offense, defense, special teams across the board, I thought they were smart. They were smart. They certainly challenged us. So I wish them well as far as the rest of the season goes. With regards to our special teams, other than the 2 offsides that we had on the kickoff on the exact same play, our special teams, I thought, played very, very well again tonight. That's something we got to have. We got to be able to have that. So across the board, without looking at the film, without looking at the stats, special teams, I think, was really, really solid. I think offense certainly played well, but we keep making those mistakes to kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. We got to maximize our potential. We can't do that when we make those types of mistakes. And the defense, the big commitment on the part of the defensive staff and me and our guys is to make sure we go back and we'll look at film, we'll look at the game, and just understand what we did wrong, why we did, and then adjust and adapt to that and make sure we fix it. If we talk too much about different things and don't focus on a specific problem, we won't get it fixed. Our guys know that. We're going to work hard on making sure we do that. I think that's pretty much what I have to say. Offense, defense, special teams. A quick call. We had a handful of guys that were certainly playing a little bit banged up. I think Alex certainly wound up doing a good job. He did a great job, I think, especially his ankle. His ankle a little banged up. I thought he threw pretty well. He wasn't running great, but we didn't necessarily need to run him, which was fine as far as tonight goes. I also want to shout out to Massa. As it turned out, Evan had fallen off a bike and his head was bothering him, and we weren't sure until the end of the week our partner exactly what was going to happen there. So when we wanted to make a final decision to go with Massa, I thought he did an outstanding job tonight. So I was pleased across the board with kind of what our effort is. Clearly we have some work to do, and we've got to be able to figure that out. So, ask me some tough questions.
Big Sam, is he hurt well, good?
I don't know yet, okay? So I remember when he came off, it looked like he was limping, it looked like an ankle, but then he went back in. So because he went back in, I assume he was okay. But I don't know that for sure. I'll get a report a little later on, and we'll have a much better feeling tomorrow.
We're a third of the way through the season. What's your assessment? I know you feel like you haven't clicked on all cylinders at the same time yet, but a third of the way through, how do you evaluate things?
I still think we're a team that's got some potential, but we're not where we need to be yet. We make too many mistakes in critical times offensively, just too many penalties that wind up hurting us. From a defensive perspective, we're not nearly where we all would have hoped we were going to be by this time of the season. But we will focus on trying to make sure we get those things taken care of. And I couldn't be more pleased with special teams. Special teams had a big game tonight. We won last week because of our special teams. So I'm delighted we're number 1 in the nation. I'm delighted we're 4-0, but we're not near where we got to be.
A big series was when they got the pass interference call against Chesley, and then you come back and block the field goal. Just how key was that moment? Just sealing everything.
I think we were up by a touchdown. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way they were effectively moving the ball, they make that kick. We're up by 4. They stop us. They come back and they score. I'm sorry, they're down by 4. They're up by 3 with not much time left to go on the clock. So I want to give them credit for what their game plan is. Clearly, they were trying to run the clock down. My guess is that was because they didn't want our offense to get the ball. They were doing an effective job of that. So they kicked that field goal. They're down 4. If our offense goes down the field and we score, we're in great shape. If the offense doesn't do that and they hold them, they're going to go down the field and they've got a shot. They got a shot with a touchdown to be able to take the lead with not much time left. So that could have put us in a bind, and I could have been prouder of our field goal block team in terms of, that's the second time they came up with a block this season. They were showing big plays. Ryan Goodman is the unit coordinator in charge of that, and he has done an excellent job without Nice.
What was your read on that pass interference call? Didn't end up hurting you in the end, but it looked a little questionable.
The one at Tony in the far
Yeah.
sideline, you don't get a great view. I'm probably 70 yards away. I can make believe I know what the call was, but I didn't know what the call was. I assume the officials made the right call, but I didn't see it. I'll look at our film, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Whatever happened, happened. If we're doing something wrong that screwed up our timing, then we got to correct that. If we're just aggressively going for the ball and you could have gone either way, we'll probably back off of that a little bit. But I'm not going to make a big deal about that call, period. We're still our fault when we commit a penalty.
What's John's status? And on top of that, how pleased were you with the way Chris played in extended action this week?
Well, I think Chris has already demonstrated that he's a good football player. He's done a great job for us as special teams. By the way, not just returning punts. He's done a good job. He's on the other teams as well. He makes plays. He makes plays as special teams across the board, number one. He's got excellent hands. He's got good quickness. So we expect him to be a good receiver for us. So when Chris is in the game, I don't have any concerns that there's much of a drop-off at all. He doesn't have the experience some of the other guys do, but he's a good football player, good athlete, and he's learning his stuff. As far as John goes, I actually walked in with John, and he told me that it was hurt. It's turf toe. So those things get a little tricky. When they hurt, they really, really hurt. I'm not sure quite how long that's going to take to get better. We'll get a better feel of that tomorrow after the guys look at that more closely.
D'Angelo, early on, like you had a little tweak or something, you kind of limped off to the side, and you came back with a big run. What happened on that play, and how'd you shake it off and move forward?
Well, I sprained my ankle for a little bit. It was like they carried me for like 5 yards and was stuck in the ground. So I had to come off the field and just get it taped. I just needed a second just to sit out and let it calm down. I think my nerves were just bad at the time. Nothing serious. Came back, the line opened up the hole perfectly. Just like Moses is part of the Red Sea. You know? And I just ran. They did a wonderful job opening up the hole for me and just ran.
That fourth down dive into the end zone ended up being the go-ahead score. What's going through your head on that carry, knowing how big that is to get in on that play?
Well, before the carry, we ran the QB sneak, and I told Ross to get in the end zone. I think he didn't. But the D-line, they submarine, which means they just dropped down, and it was open to jump over it. Why not? Why not jump? Hop. Why not hop? No pun intended.
Uh-huh.
D'Angelo, I think you tied the Big South record for consecutive games with a touchdown. Do you have any idea you were close to that, or any thoughts on getting that?
I had no idea of that record until you just said that, and I think that is phenomenal. From the O-line from the past couple of years, they're the ones who got me here to this point, so my hat's off to them. I think it's bigger than these all those guys.
So excuse me a second. I haven't had a chance to see Hop and Chris. Congratulations. So I'm going to miss you too, too. So we'll see. Chris, congratulations. I already saw it.
Alex, how's the ankle?
It feels a lot better than last week. It felt good enough to play tonight, and obviously get the win. So I'm looking forward to continually get better. It's not 100% yet, but it's good enough to play.
Chris, what's it mean to you the back-to-back games really come up big, and this time get even more of a run out there?
It's just opportunities. I try to take the most of my opportunities that I have, and today it just showed a lot. I mean, one of our star receivers went down, and you can't have no drop-offs when someone goes down, so I just stepped up and did what I was supposed to do.
Coming into this season, knowing that those three guys were all back, what did you really expect on offense for yourself this year?
We can make it 4 guys instead of 3, so that's all I really think about when I go through practice. And come into the games, I'm really focused on what I have to do, and I just did what I did.
For anyone, what was the feeling being down 10-0 right off the bat like that?
I think we're pretty calm. We knew that it was going to be a long game, and that wasn't going to stop us. So I think as a group we were pretty calm, we were pretty focused, and we didn't let that get to us. We knew that we were going to be able to drive down the field and score points, and we were just patient.
We're about a third of the way through the season. What's your evaluation to this point? Coach feels like you haven't all clicked on at the same time. What's your read on things?
I don't think we have either. I don't think the offense has clicked and done what it can do so far this year. I can only speak for the offense. But we're 4-0, and that's a good start. So I look forward to continually improving and getting better each week. I look forward to that moment when the offense does click. It's nice having guys like Chris to throw the ball to and D'Angelo to hand the ball to. They're phenomenal football players, and we also have a lot of other good players. So we just need to, I'd say we just need to, focus on the offense as a whole and do what we need to do instead of, maybe focusing as much on the defense. But we have to understand what kind of looks they're going to give us. But we just have to execute as an offense. We can't, stub our toe, and we can't hurt ourselves.
Let's start with that block. Just take us through that play, how you saw it, and what it meant to you to get a hand on that ball and come through there.
Special teams is a key attribute to our team, and we practice all week. Me staying low, getting skinny, and I was kind of upset that I didn't get a block on the first field goal, so I said that one on the sideline. I said that if I get a chance to get out there again, I'm going to block it. So I went out there, stayed low, got skinny, jumped, held my arms up, and the ball came to me.
How big did it feel in that moment? It was still a one-score game at that point.
It was big. Like I cherish every play. So like everything that happens, I take big to me. Like so, I mean, it meant a lot.
As a defense, were you all stunned and had nothing that fast? And how quickly did you think you guys adjusted?
I mean, like the games in the past, we've had little errors that people gash us on. I think they took advantage of a few plays in the first quarter that little things that we correct, like we did in the South County game, that we stay an elite defense. I think we are an elite defense. We just got to get little things right.
Coach Moglia mentioned how you all simplified things defensively. From your vantage point, just kind of tell us how different the plan was coming in this week and how that translated on the field.
I mean, most defenses are going to try and install like this whole big packet of stuff. We really wanted to focus on the basics before we could move on to bigger and more complex things, because if we can't get the baseline right, then how do you expect to run a nice fluent defense throughout the game?